Jujubee, Jujubee. I am not doing well today. But look at this fuzzy vest. This shit is all over. Marjorie Taylor-Greene. And people want to bitch about Kirsten Sinema. She was the one who wore the fuzzy coat, the white fuzzy sweater at the Davos meeting. I haven't seen anybody mention that. Everyone's comparing her to various animals and whatnot. 50 billion Cruella de Vil comparisons, but not one person mentioned Kirsten Sinema, who was mocked for this fuzzy vest. Forget about the yellow dress. I actually thought it was a pretty yellow dress. I don't know if it was quite a good choice for the State of the Union address, but whatever. That's nothing compared to this shit. Now MTG is going to wear the fuzzy coat. And you know what all this hooting and hollering and thumbs down and interrupting is all about? Marjorie Taylor-Greene was said to be the unpopular kid at high school who never got invited to any of the parties. Marjorie Taylor-Greene's high school yearbook photo made her look like a loser who doesn't get invited to any of the high school parties. Supposedly, she would call the cops on cool kids having high school parties because she wasn't invited. I think that goes a long way in explaining why she does this shit. Why she pulls this crap. Look at her. Like Biden's the principal, and everyone at the State of the Union address are classmates. In Congress, you know, all your representatives, when they get together, it's like being at school. It's like being at school, and she sees herself as one of the popular kids. She's going to be brash and obnoxious and loud. She's going to interrupt the principal when he's speaking. She's going to make an absolute buffoon of herself, thinking it's going to score some popularity points with the rest of the class. That's all this shit is. Look at her. Look at this bitch. She thinks she's the fucking prom queen. She's the one that's going to stand up. She's the one that's going to boo and loser the principal. That old, senile, piece of crap authority figure that doesn't stand for anything any of the cool kids like her want. Well, even in high schools, I'd assume all across America, you would have that kid and he would just be so up his own ass. You'd have to have other kids, including actual popular kids, have to scream at him to shut the fuck up and sit down because the principal has some common sense and intelligence. And you don't. And that damn balloon she held. That damn balloon she held. This woman thinks that she's on a parade float. She's been chosen to be seen. I mean, she's just living her best life. This has got to be everything she's ever wanted in life. Making up for lost times. Yeah, over Social Security. She doesn't even know what the fuck she's talking about. Exactly what her party wanted. He brings up that she's full of shit. No, you don't say that. You don't say that about MTG. She's the OG MTG. She's the cool one on the floor. She's going to shake things up. Look at how happy she is. Remember when McCarthy said there wouldn't be any childish games and Republicans would show proper decorum? Petridge Farm remembers. But Petridge Farm ain't going to keep this secret to Petridge Farm self free of charge. Has her $183,504 PPP loan forgiven by the government, voted against student loan forgiveness, health care for veterans, $35 insulin price cap, and complains she doesn't get paid enough. Look at that horse face. Joe should have stated, I hear some members here are making $173,000 a year and don't think they get paid enough. Maybe they should raise minimum wage first. No reason to be civil to a loudmouth degenerate. I don't know. Maybe that's why he's so presidential. Literal trash. This flying monkey of fascism is now cosplaying as a Capitol announcer from the Hunger Games. She's trying to take one from Kirsten Sinema. The two of them are dressed up at the State of the Union like it's the prom. Or like it's church on Sunday. It's almost like, they came up with the coolest, most expensive shit they could think of so they could compare clothing. I'll guarantee that's all it is. Woman has received fines from the House Sergeant at Arms on 18 separate dates during her first year in the House. She racked up at least 93 grand in fines. Divorce is expensive. Also addicted to painkillers. Oh, she's the cool kid in high school that does drugs, too. I'm serious. Her mind must have never left high school. Isn't she also now worth tons of millions after being in Congress? 41 mil, but apparently a lot of that is from her father's company and the CrossFit gym that they both owned. She did come from family money. How much do you think that coat cost? And yet she and other Republicans went all in on VP Harris's $300 pot. Ooh, let's see what Shave That Monkey says. Shitty people vote for someone they can relate to. Ah, Marjorie Welfare Queen. Repeating racist Reaganite slurs to insult the poor isn't really the progressive gotcha you seem to think it is. Oh no, let's defend the person who blocks bills that help all Americans, advocates fascism, and makes a mockery of our government, because the term welfare queen is rightfully being used in a way that isn't demeaning to a person's race or social assistance status. Here's your downvote. She doesn't care. Her supporters don't care. No one cares about her hypocrisy. They're not playing to be consistent. They're playing just to win. Liberals need to stop doing this. We caught them in an inconsistency gotcha nonsense. Seriously, how could this person get a single vote? It was Jerry, man. Duh. Her writing literally sent enough threats to her opposition that they moved out of state. So this is what Georgia's fine educational system produced. Horrible goddamn educational system. Now I understand the need for mental health programs and at-home checks as well. Here is the Pennywise final form. Not the puppies. 80s are making a comeback. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's when this bitch was in high school. I'm sure that's when cinema was in high school. It just all makes sense. You know, the fashion choices, the comparisons of who's wearing what, how much it costs, the screaming from the back of the room when Mr. President is up at the podium speaking. There she is in the back, needing to steal the spotlight because she thinks she's a fucking prom queen. This is her new high school, and she believes herself to be the most popular girl. I don't even think Bobo has thought of that one. But, you know, Bobo would have been that chick who had to drop out because she got pregnant, right? She was popular enough. Not in the way that she thinks she was popular, in the way that certain other people saw her as popular. Go drink your Trump aid. Look at me. No, look at me. Here's that attention you ordered. And look at her. Look at her ugly ass. Is it any wonder she was never invited to high school parties? Is it any wonder she would call the cops on fellow high schoolers having a party? This woman was a loser from the word go. And now we know what happens when losers are given just a little bit of power and a little bit of authority. I mean, my God. And I guess this is why losers were losers in high school. Because look what happens. Crazy caucus got played by an old man. I've never seen anything like it at a State of the Union speech. They ran at him like a pack of lemmings, and with a wink and a grin, he politely directed them to the cliff. Oh, Tucker Carlson. His face actually looks less dumb with about 60 pounds added to it. Credit for the quote goes to Rex Hupke from USA Today. You could see it in McCarthy's face as he tried to silence the "please put me on Fox News" loudmouths in the caucus. He looked defeated, like he was going to race home after the speech, write mournful poetry, and enter a lengthy goth phase. What am I telling you? What am I telling you? Did I call it or what? High school. High school. You learn something newer, lower, and more reprehensible about the GOP every day. Everybody can see it. Everybody can see it. Oh, God. I hate Snapchat. Getting really sick of it. They got played hard. And while scoring fun political points doesn't always net any benefits, it's hard to argue this didn't work in Biden's favor and as a whole, the U.S. public's. Of course, the right-wing media trying to pass this off as a win against Biden. Their base gets their thrills for TV-like political displays, such as MTG howling like an idiot. The more Jerry Springer contestant-like their politicians are, the more right-wingers love it. Complete and utter trash human beings. That's because they're still stuck in high school. That's because their intelligence never raised that last few points in early adulthood. Maybe it's a mix of drugs and their abortions that they're against for everyone else, and I don't know, the pedophilia that has rotted their brain that they want to accuse everybody else of committing. Maybe that's just the result of never growing past the point you were at in the 10th or 11th grade. That is definitely what I'm seeing from her. That's what I see from the Republican Party. That's what I see for everyone further away from the point of impact here. The shock waves, the ripple effect. Fox News, right-wing media, pundits, Ben Shapiro, Tucker Carlson, and the legions and legions of doom that follow these people around. It's all connected, folks. It's all there. The ripple effect is there. Shitty education, not much more than a 6th grade reading comprehension, immaturity, whitewashed American history, racism, sexism, misogyny. It all plays a part here, folks. Like Carlin said, garbage in, garbage out. That's what this country puts in to their systems and their people is garbage. What you're going to end up with is garbage. And that garbage is going to slowly but surely weasel its way up through the ranks in every field, everywhere. And this is the result of it. They totally beat them. They totally tricked them into making them commit to protecting Medicare and Social Security. That's some real 5D chess right there. Many of them legitimately believe it's the Democrats who want to cut those things. Maddening.
Dems were the ones who drafted the bills to fund them. Of course they know. You know, when I encounter people like this in real life, I always say it. And I don't think it's some false dichotomy to say, look, there are only two options here. You're either extremely fucking dumb or you're an extreme fucking psychotic. You're an extreme piece of shit. That's what it is. Or somewhere sliding back and forth on that line. That's where these people are. That's how it is. I'm sure there are some of them that honestly believe bold-faced lies that they tell themselves. That the Republicans didn't want to cut any Medicare or Social Security. I'm sure there's a few on that, really, really fucking stupid side of the line. I'm pretty sure the majority of them are over here. The piece of shit side of the line. They know it. They know they're garbage. And they're just going to act like a temper tantruming, spoiled little prom queen. When the the president is talking. That's exactly what it's like. You've got a flashback to high school circa 1987 going on in this room. I am fully convinced of it at this point. Biden moved on them like a bitch. Because eventually you have to grow the fuck up. A lemmings bot to handle this. Credit where credit is due. Key and Peele did give Biden this idea. No, actually, Bugs Bunny did it first, and that's more Biden's generation. Look on McCarthy's face was so awkward. He knew what happened. Look at him. He knew what he did. Again, everybody knows this. And I've been saying it. Every other comment just reiterates what I've said. I said before that you gotta treat people like this. Like they're a little dog who just shit on the carpet. And you can't blame the dog. Because the dog simply does not know any better. The dog doesn't know what it's doing. I mean, the dog probably knows he's not supposed to shit on the braided rug. But dog's gonna dog. So, you don't want to punish them. You don't want to get too violent. You don't want to get nasty. You really don't want to sink to their level because that is their level. They're not going to learn anything because they're not capable of learning anything better. They're not capable of understanding. The best thing you can do is give them a bop on the nose. Actually, I would never even do that to an animal, but you get the idea. You have to proverbially, if I said that right, rub their nose in the shit and the piss and make sure you keep a very close eye on them. And you don't let them near the braided rug again. there's no point in arguing. There's no point in even discussing anything. You're not going to argue with them. You know, I hate to say it because I don't want to say this about anybody, but, you know, we're just better than these types of people. Yes, I said it. Just better. It's like a lost cause. It's a wick that doesn't reach as far as the others. And there's nothing you can do about it. You can't forcibly stretch that wick. You can't make it fit in with all the others. And you don't want to burn yourself down to meet its level, you know? Burn the other wicks down so that they can go lower, so that there's compromise, because they're all on the same level. You can't do that. That short wick itself isn't supposed to be there. It just isn't there with everybody else. And it doesn't mean you be cruel. It doesn't mean you shove the candle off the table onto the floor, break it into a million pieces. You just take that bum candle and move it somewhere else, where it never has an opportunity to steal the show, the beautiful light show with all the other candles. It still has its purpose. It can still produce some light. It can still look pretty inside of its glass. But you don't put it up with the other regular candles. You don't have to be so cruel. You don't have to sink that low. That's something, you know, that inferior person would do. But you wouldn't, because you're not them. You don't think like them. You are not inferior. So just keep an eye on them and keep them far away from where people can see them. That's what you got to do with these people. Just get them the fuck out of there. Don't ever let people like this run your politics. Don't let people like this make a mockery of everything democracy stands for and America stands for, because I don't know how many times people have to hear it. And again, short wick. They're just not there. So that's why they'll keep arguing it, but it's, I don't know, it's absolutely true. The majority of this country is progressive. They are for everything these people are against. They are absolutely outraged by people like this. They're sick of looking at the short wicks in the bum candles. You know, the brightest and the best need to be in charge. You know, the smartest and the most human need to have the authority. You can't leave it to crooks. You can't leave it to morons. You can't leave it to Taylor-Greene, who thinks she's a fucking prom queen, trying to live vicariously, it seems, through this position she's got. Because she's never had this type of attention in her life. And you know it. It's not going to get better unless you get rid of these people. They should never be in any position of power or prestige. Any position, especially any position that gives them any authority or power or credence or reliability over somebody else's life. I guess I should have said liable, not reliable. Sorry. And that's just it. Yeah, look at that bitch. Establishment of the Regressive Caucus. Is that even a freaking suit jacket, or is that just a coat that she wouldn't take off because she wants to show it off? I should offer money to somebody if they tell me what that designer is, because you know it's some major designer. Ah, and stop with the Cruella de Vil. We get it. We get it. Ew. Kirsten Cinema. It's got little glasses. It's still disgusting. I have a major phobia. I hate moths. I hate butterflies. Well, most bugs I hate. But that freaks the fuck out of me right there. Ugh. Hey, don't insult that cute little pup. Yeah, take a look at that. With the little hat. Yeah, you know, it's it's all a scene out of Uncle Buck. That guy's going all new wave with that fedora looking thing right there. They're the same picture. No, no, no. See, this woman is really hot. This woman is a famous actress. This woman has talent. This is a wannabe prom queen. Here is the very studious grade A student sitting in front of her in class or the class assembly, wanting her to shut the fuck up, but he's too smart and he's got too nice of a future ahead of him to turn around and say anything or even care. Has to do something with all that hot air, like her clown show. Yeah, plenty of Pennywise bullshits here too. Arg. You'd think Donnie would have learnt that morals don't work on Republican voters during any single one of his daily catastrophes as president. He's got pictures of Ron DeSantis partying with young girls. See, Republicans don't care. Bro, you're a rapist. Someone called the Derry City manager's office and let him know that fucking clown got out of the sewer again. They all float down here. You'll float too. Play Freebird. You're not supposed to request that at a concert. Ew. Crispy cinnamon. At the 2023 State of the Union Address, humans of Arizona, may the odds be ever in your favor. Pay attention to me. I'm still going to say I do like the dress itself. That's a really pretty dress. I could never pull off something like that. I could never pull off something like that. I feel like I have too broad of shoulders to ever pull off something like that. I need to go shoulderless. Or with spaghetti straps or some shit like that. Really pretty dress, but I'd be nothing more than a shrunken head if I wore something like that. Marjorie Taylor-Greene single-handedly negotiated away any cuts to Social Security and Medicare tonight. It's not about the work. Schoolwork is for losers and nerds. She's the prom queen. Aww, doesn't he look cute here? Little Biden with his head poking out like the Me Too kitty. Yep, that's it. Pinot Grigio. Look it up. This line's gonna age like milk. Normal or crazy? Is your dumbass actually implying that you're normal? I wish there were an official logical / argumentative fallacy for this. There may be one that I just don't know about. In case there isn't, I'm announcing it right now. I've made it up. I haven't figured out what I'd call it yet. But it's this phenomenon where if you say something first, then that seals it. Nobody can say it about you, because then if they say it about you, then they're just ripping off of you. And you might do this, say something completely batshit like this, because you know you're projecting, and, projection is a fallacy, but it's not the same as projection. See, you can project on purpose, knowing that you're projecting. Because if you say the words out loud, nobody can then say it about you. When it's a legitimate cause for concern, which is when they bring it up. You're trying to beat them to the punch. Trying to be a little precognitive. Preemptively pulling your Uno reverse, I guess you could say. That's what that statement does. I mean, she's right. It's not even about right or left. It's about normal versus crazy. But she's the fucking crazy one. Her party are the crazy ones. And I wouldn't be surprised if many people had actually said this already about her party, about the GOP. But she said it. She said it. So now if anybody else says it, they're going to accuse them of no you. And like I said, there might be an official logical argumentative fallacy that covers what I've just covered, but there might not be. And in case there isn't, we'll just call it the no you fallacy. Although that might not work. That might not work because people do that after the fact. How about the preemptive projectionist fallacy? That sounds cool. Yeah, I like that one. You look crazy. Ooh. Why is perjury Taylor-Greene wearing the balloon we shot down? I bet if you said that to her, she'd say, this balloon cost about $25,000. And then, of course, you'd have to remind her that a Chinese spy balloon probably cost them a few $1,000,000. Get out of here with your chump change. Excuse me, Joe, Mr. Principal, but I grew up with lead pipes for our drinking water and I turned out just fine. Short wick. Oh, God. Let's be honest here. Is Cruella de Vil not actually more attractive than MTG? Ooh! MTG's coat is made from the dogs George Santos said he was rescuing. Wow, tonight's special guest. Let's go, Brandon. Is this true? Was he really invited? I hope so. We had a Russian blimp in the White House for 4 years, and the Republicans didn't seem to mind. I was stupid. Oh, Jesus, with this Cruella shit. Enough. Mucus monster. They're the same picture. That feeling when your whole party's about to get roasted. Republicans listening to Biden list all the legitimate things he's done to help people while their party's been fear-mongering about woke M&Ms. Joe Biden to call for Congress to place limits on concert ticket fees. Zippity zeeper, your tickets are cheaper. This post brought to you by Fuck You, Ticketmaster Gang. We should send our own balloon over to China. Well, then put Trump down and tie a damn rope around your waist. But pro tempore for a day, embarrassing America for a year. Ha! Suspected Chinese spy balloon located over the United States. Oh, God. You know, that turtle man would actually make a good balloon. He really would. I could totally see that flying around through the sky. That would be fun. Oh my God. I am so not doing good. I'm going to take a little break. Alrighty then. U.S. launches counterattack. That's cute. I think we should send one of those balloons over China. Just for the giggles. I mean, they have McDonald's there now. They love the fast food. For my convenience. As a result of your participation in the TUGSA strike, your tuition remission has been removed for the spring semester. Dear Temple student, as a result of your protected concerted activity, we are retaliating against you. Dear Temple University, meet my lawyer. What objects would you place in a pentagram to summon Donald Trump? I really don't want to hear any more of these dumbass questions. Would you support Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders as President Trump's running mate? Absolutely. The hand strikes again. These photos, allegedly shot at a French protest rally yesterday, look almost real if it weren't for the cop's six-fingered glove. Well, maybe he really has 6 fingers on his left hand, and somebody's looking for him. Satanist. Okay. Capitalism is so good, it has only existed for 0.0000011% of Earth's life. But during that time, it's threatened a mass extinction event. Ugh. Oh, enough with this freaking Harry Potter game bullshit. God. people need to get over this, okay? We know J.K. Rowling is a TERF. We know that she is obviously transphobic. We get it, okay? But then there are people that really, really want to play the Harry Potter game. There are people that really, really don't because they want to boycott, and they're bitching at people who want to play the game because they want them to boycott because they're boycotting. And I hate to break it to you, J.K. Rowling is still going to wake up tomorrow very wealthy. Not just well off, not rich, wealthy. Her wealth is a freaking empire. It's Scrooge McDuck's treasure room. Okay, and the people who developed the game, she's going to get her piece of it. She's going to get her piece of it because she gets royalties. And the developers of this game are going to be making the majority of the money because the developers of this game made the game. There's really no point in trying to boycott it now. If she had gotten money at the onset, then it would have been at the onset when she signed a contract. Okay, they probably paid her a whole big chunk of money when she signed that contract to lend them the rights so that they could make this game. Otherwise, it's just going to be probably a certain piece on the sale of each game, which isn't going to break her wallet because she has extreme wealth. I mean, if you want to boycott to make a point, go ahead. Boycott. Don't buy it. Maybe the sales will fall. Then again, maybe not. Even people that say they're on board with this, there are still a lot of Harry Potter fans out there. If they say they're on board with it, they're probably logging off the web and they're going out and they're getting this Harry Potter game. They're downloading it right now. You're not going to be able to do much or prove much in terms of a boycott from behind your keyboard at home. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if sales are quite good, regardless of all the people stating they're going to boycott, or other people should boycott, or she's a TERF, and so, you know, nobody should buy the game. I'm willing to bet the game does just fine because all these Harry Potter fans or past Harry Potter fans or just curious gamers, they're going to go out and they're going to buy this fucking game. Meanwhile, she's still going to wake up tomorrow massively wealthy. It's not going to affect anything. It's not going to affect her. It's not going to affect the check she fills out. Let's ban assault weapons again. Agreed. Start taking them away from our singularly lethal police force. It must be incredibly freeing to go through life totally incapable of being embarrassed or feeling shame. I'm dead serious here. I bet people who have the superpower are happy in a way you and I can never be. And that is how I know there is no loving God. Trump, who was best friends with Epstein, regularly went to the sex island, openly said and liked him young, is accusing DeSantis of being a pedophile because he went to drinking parties with his underage students. Two pedos battling for the GOP nomination. Chrissy Teigen referred to Donald Trump as a pussy ass bitch. There is no such thing as an assault weapon. Oh, Bobo. You're that chick in the high school that could have been something. There could have been hope for you. But alas, maybe she thinks there are only assault people. Or assault is an imaginary word. Probably wasn't on that GED test. Then what the fuck did we ban in 1994? Kinder Surprise eggs, I guess. Common sense. Arg. Why does fucking Reddit do this? Hasbro now woke? Great. Well, I already know it was Professor Plum and it wasn't in the library. That's where you should be. The one on the right is the smarter of the two. Prettiest woman I've ever seen in my life comes in my store today and buys a dog leash. Ask her what she's getting it for because I'm stupid. And she goes, oh, it's for bad girls who don't behave. And brother, let me tell you, oh my God, dude. She was flirting with you. She was what? Okay. Ooh, the butterscotch candy wore it better. I love this one. People who don't understand same-sex relationships make me laugh because fuck. I don't understand Korean, but I still know it's a real fucking language. What? Here we go. Twitch chat berates a streamer to tears for playing Hogwarts Legacy. I checked out the VOD and it's 99% in support of them, and a handful of people saying mild shit like, disappointed in you for supporting J.K. Rowling. But the streamers take it really personally and go on an anti-J.K. Rowling rant, then get really upset and take a break. Weak. Sorry you feel like you let down your fans or whatever, but this is extremely mild pushback compared to what me and most of my friends get on an average night. If people telling you they're disappointed in you hurts, maybe it's because you know you let them down. White twee nerds, stop enabling bigotry for Dollar Challenge 2023. Let's go. Wild how the extremely mild criticism of these nerds gets multiple news articles, but none mention J.K. Rowling's bigotry and anti-trans views and history of harassment campaigns. Just wow, look at this poor wholesome couple who just want to play the wizard game. Ew. What? They're acting like they got hate crimed, but the harassment was literally just people saying stuff like, you should watch Jesse Gender's video on J.K. Rowling. LMAO, these people are weak and will not survive the winter. Funniest part is that before this went down, they were talking about how the game wasn't even good. They're like, it's not very exciting or interesting. Also, people saying you can't see deleted messages. You can go back and read the chat. It doesn't seem like many, if any, have been deleted. Certainly not the ones they're responding to. The hosts are very aware of all this, by the way. They talk about how they don't agree with her and have links to the Trevor Project and chat, but figured they would play it anyway versus boycotting, like many trans streamers have called for, like Nicotine Prime. Okay. Miss Piggy. Don't insult Miss Piggy like that. Yes, I love Burn Burn. Hey, the 14,000 hours of video evidence that Pelosi has been hiding for over a year is coming out. Will be interesting to see what she's been hiding. She's been behind this J6 the whole time and was staged to try to pin on Trump. Truth. Okay. This really gets me. I'm the first woman to lead my state. Biden is the first man to surrender his presidency to a woke mob that can't tell you what a woman is. Every day we're told we must partake in their rituals, salute their flags, and worship their false idols. It's crazy and it's wrong. Mighty big fat fucking projector you have there, Sanders. That's what I told you. That's what I'm saying. The short wick. It's a short wick. Without a single degree, they created art that inspired generations. And then the artists with degrees arrived. Tell me you don't know about art without telling me you don't know about art. Okay, smartass, let's hear it. Leonardo da Vinci was the son of a rich and powerful man, which granted him a nice education. He was an apprentice for 7 years in the workshop of one of the most famous artists in Florence. He completed his apprenticeship and thus became a master. He was the closest thing this era had from an artist with a degree. Why do people make up facts to support their point of view? Or maybe this person's objective was to accumulate a load of likes and shares. Ever heard of the God's Not Dead film franchise? Spare yourself and do not watch. But for a summary, Kevin Sorbo is an evil atheist college professor who orders his students to denounce God on the first day of class. When the sole true believing Christian challenges him, Sorbo decides to stage a debate, intending to humiliate this student, only for the Christian to humiliate him with facts and logic based off scripture. That's the right-wing evangelical image of a higher education, as indoctrination centers where tyrannical liberal professors brainwash the students to hate themselves, God, and country. In the real world, that college professor who attempts such antics would lose their job by the end of the day. I'd like to say the banana piece is crap, not because it's weird postmodern concept art, but because it's poorly thought out, low effort piece with no emotional or intellectual impact. Even if that's dumb was the intended reaction, it's not an interesting or difficult reaction. Achieving it isn't praiseworthy. Okay, that does it. I'm done. Screw you guys. I'm going home. I'm like dead tired all of a sudden. Just not doing good the past few days. I'll be back later.